Humans should understand these 8 truths from the COVID-19 pandemic. Xiefeng, May 20, 2020. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Care. Let us look first at some natural changes that have occurred during the pandemic, and then we will see what we should conclude from them. You might want to research the following news items on the internet to see what has happened. 1. The virus has healed the Earth. The contrast of aerial photos from before and after the lockdown of the cities is amazing. 2. Satellite data show that China's air quality has improved significantly. 3. The air quality comparison chart under the global pandemic is conclusive. For today, an Italian city was closed for 2 weeks and satellite views of it found amazing changes. 5. Due to the outbreak, the number of tourists has plummeted and the canals in Venice, Italy have cleared nicely. 6. Miami's water became clear, global carbon dioxide emissions dropped, mountain lions appeared in cities, and the earth began to restart. 7. Residents of Punjab, India could see the Himalayas, 201 kilometers away in early April for the first time in nearly 30 years. 8. India ordered a nationwide blockade at the end of March and found that the Ganges River had cleaned itself. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, the global blockade has slowed people's activities. As a result, all-round changes have taken place on the earth. The 8 examples above are enough to make us understand the 8 truths below. 1. Atmospheric pollution, turbid rivers, reduced marine life, soil acidification, salinization, reduction of animals and plants, climate warming, ecological crises, and more are all caused by human activities, and humans must reverse them. 2. There are too many people on the earth and we should reduce our uncontrolled growth. Regardless of race, ethnicity, or country, population development should be controlled within Mother Nature's tolerance. 3. The national policies and human activities dominated by the developed economies are biased. Economic development must be in line with Mother Nature's annual productivity, and we cannot ask too much from her. Otherwise, she who nurtures us will get sick and lose her temper. 4. People's food, clothing, shelters, traveling, aging, sickness, and death are all consuming natural resources. The more people possess, the more they damage the earth and the more sins they commit. 5. The more people enjoy, the more they abuse and ravage the earth and the more sins they commit. 6. Once anything's development goes to the extreme, it will inevitably be contained. The only way to avoid containment is to maintain harmony and balance among all things. 7. Human nature has both a good side and an evil one. Capitalism and the market economy model conform to the evil side of human nature, that is, the greedy side. Greed leads to evil, which leads to ecological imbalance and ecological disaster. 8. These facts tell us that there is something wrong with traditional values and the production and life mode of humans, and that this value and mode is the source of the virus. How do we solve the above 8 problems? In order to let people live happy and peaceful lives without anxiety or fear, to make society harmonious, and to restore nature to its original purity and cleanliness, I am fully prepared in both theory and practice. The theory is called Chanyuan values, the practice is called the New Oasis for Life. I have lived in Asia for decades, Africa for 17 years, North America for 3 years, with primitive tribes in Oceania for a few months, with Christians for 3 years, with Muslims for 3 years, had deep contact with Hindus, subtle contact with Buddhists and Taoists, understood Western spiritual culture, Osho's thoughts, and earnestly studied and explored Marx's theories, so I understand that people's needs are at the bottom in the minds of rich bosses. Therefore, my theory and practice are suitable for the interests of humankind as a whole, as well as to meet everyone's wishes. I hope that people will think about it deeply. Again, without changing humanity's traditional production and life modes, our suffering will continue endlessly, and not only will we be punished by nature, but the future will never be bright.
人人都自带新冠病毒。
Everybody carries the COVID-19 virus. Xiefeng. June 16, 2020. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. As the COVID-19 pandemic keeps spreading throughout the world, all countries continue their efforts to avoid it out of fear that they might catch it, and wearing masks has become a main method of preventing its spread. I would like to inform everyone that these external preventive measures, including wearing surgical masks, will not work. Whether people will be infected by the virus or not depends completely on the He that they possess. That is to say that those who are supposed to catch the disease, even if they remain fully insulated, will get sick, but those who are not supposed to get it, even if they bathe in water that is fully contaminated with the virus, will not. My viewpoint is supported by the following three theories. Holographic theory. According to cosmic holographic theory, even while latent, all subsystems contain all the information of their systems and all the information of the universe. Any subsystem is a microcosm of its system, and therefore a microcosm of the universe. A medical doctor can order a blood test from one drop of our blood, and all the information about our bodies can be determined from that single drop. Through that test data, the doctor can determine what diseases we have because every cell of the body contains all the information about the body. This is the cosmic holographic theory. It can be concluded that once the COVID-19 virus came into existence, everyone in the world became infected with it, and this has nothing to do with their location or whether they have guarded against it. Those who deny this deny cosmic holography. The truth of Buddhism. One flower, one world, a one leaf, one Bodhi, the Buddha said. Everyone owns Buddha nature. All humans can become Buddha. The truth of Buddhism shows that human self-nature owns everything. Self-nature can generate all Dharma, and all Dharma is generated from self-nature. This tells us that each of us has both the most beauty in the world and the most ugliness in the world. We can also infer logically that everyone owns a devil's nature and a beast's nature. Whether people achieve Buddhahood or fall to a demonic level depends on their self-nature. Therefore, it can be concluded that whether we become infected by the virus or not depends on our self-nature, not on our preventive measures such as wearing masks. If one thinks that someone is infected by exposure to someone else, it shows that they do not understand the truth of Buddhism. The principle of causation. All Dharma is a void except karma. If one wants to understand their past lives, then they should study what they receive in this life. The principle of causation tells us that reality is only the projection of one's consciousness. One suffers because they have ever sinned. One is blessed and can live at ease and comfort because they have accumulated merits and virtues. You reap what you have sown. Those who take baths often and wash their clothes regularly will not get lice, but those who do not do so will acquire them. The birth and spread of COVID-19 needs to meet certain conditions, so whether one gets infected and sick depends on whether they meet those conditions. If they meet them, then they will become infected and get sick, but if they do not meet them, then they will not get sick even if they become immersed with them. I have written more than 260 articles over the last 17 years as warnings to the world which have been disseminated across the internet. The current state of the today's world and sceneries of a future world have been heralded clearly by them. Although it is too late for mankind to turn the corner, the laws and principles of life and life do work at all times. I want mankind to know that the only way to escape from your current crisis but to walk the propitious path is to change your traditional mode of production and life, and that the way for individuals to escape from this crisis and to lead blessed lives is to take the way of the greatest Creator and follow the road of life genuine. If you think that I am wrong and that you are right, then just follow your own path and you will find out.
邪恶家园大魔头至中国反邪教网
The great demon of the evil Homeland replies to China's anti-cult network. Xiefeng. July 30, 2021. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Kair. Fighters of China's anti-cult network. First of all, if you feel that you are doing right and are confident in your actions, then do not delete or block my article here. If you are scared, then delete it or block it. You have been a great help because your video, The Home of Evil, has expanded Life Genuine's influence, which is exactly what I have been looking for. As for whether or not people believe your video's content, you know that in today's China, it is everyone's tacit understanding. Nowadays, only mindless people still believe the messages published by governments at your level. After watching your video, I can see that you have put much work into it, but also that it is still rough, and that your understanding needs refinement. 1. You said that you rescued believers who had been directed remotely by Zhang Zifan Xiefeng, but this is inconsistent with the facts. One of your insiders sent me some photos of your process of rescuing my followers. In one of them, a female Chanyuan Celestial's hands were tied behind her back with a rope, and she was squatting on the ground with a police officer holding a pistol against the back of her head in the same way that Japanese devils shot and killed Chinese compatriots during the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. Is this what you called rescue? I still have the photo. 2. You posted a few photos of me in the video which we had taken while playing games. You deliberately selected those photos to vilify me, and to scare my potential sisters-in-law away. That was unscrupulous of you. 3. The biggest shortcoming of the video upon which you worked so hard is that there were no voices of any Chanyuan Celestials. It is a failure. In fact, the biggest blow to Lifa Chanyuan and Xiefeng should be Chanyuan Celestials exposing my ugly deeds, which would have been much more convincing. It is lacking that you did not do that. 4. Wang Gang, who appears in the video, is the son of Foci Celestial. His performance in the video was simply that of a respectful son, but what is the truth? You should allow his mother Foci to talk about it. Why would an elderly woman in her 80s not be with her son, but with the demon Xiefeng? People with normal thinking ability will come up with something, right? We have a lot of evidence to prove why the elderly woman would rather die outside than live with her son. Is it evil for Xiefeng's Homeland to take in 80-year-olds and allow them to live comfortable lives? I used to think that evil meant not showing filial piety to the elderly, but now it seems that showing filial piety to the elderly is evil. Thank you for showing me the true meaning of evil. Wang Gang said that Xiefeng asked his mother to bring her salary card over and end her relationship with the family. You should show evidence of this occurrence because without any, what you said is just slander. Will people believe it? Saying that your mother took her savings, ran away from home, and that you then lost contact with her is simply one big lie. Does telling such a lie mean that you have forgotten about the time that your wife and you visited Lifa Chanyuan? 5. The video said that I joined traditional Christianity, but have you any evidence of this? Of course not, because you made all this up. 6. You know that I am the messenger of the greatest creator Jesus Christ, Buddha Shakyamuni, the Prophet Muhammad PBUH, and the incarnation of Celestial Laozi, but you think that this has all been made up by me, right? Is it not strange that one dares to claim himself as such but can still have a clear mind for 20 years? Is it not abnormal? This is not something that anyone can claim for themselves casually. If you do not believe me, you can try doing it yourself. If anyone claims to be such, it would take less than 1 year for them to go insane and die. If you do not believe me, try it yourself. Now suppose, what if Zhang Zifan's claim is true? If so, then your sins are surely not small. 7. You said that our 2 places in Guizhou are secretly established bases under the cover of cooperative, comprehensive development projects. Excuse me, but are we also engaged in any illegal activities, or any other than those stipulated in our contract? If so, please provide evidence. 8. You said that the most important of Xiefeng's fallacies is that Chanyuan Celestials must hand in all their property. Please provide evidence of this. In which article did I write this? On what occasion did I say it? Please provide material evidence and testimonies of witnesses. 9. Lu Chong is the husband of Xianin Celestial and appears in the video. You said that Xianin Celestial sold all of her family property behind Lu Chong's back and dedicated all his hundreds of thousands of RMB yuan to Lifa Chanyuan. But are the facts really as Lu Chong claims? Lu Chong is addicted to gambling. Not only did he gamble away their pig farm which they had worked so hard to build, but he also lost their house, driving the family into bankruptcy and unable to pay off some usurers from whom he had borrowed money. He hid outside all day and his wife had no choice but to beg to come to Lifa Chanyuan home. His wife had not sold their property behind his back and donated hundreds of thousands of RMB yuan to Lifa Chanyuan because she had nothing and even needed to purchase the train ticket with the pocket money her daughter gave her to travel from her former farm to Lifa Chanyuan. You have provided false testimony. I wonder if this is a crime in jurisprudence. I guess you need to study the law more seriously. 10. Lu Chong said that he weighed nearly 75 kilograms when he was with his wife, but that his weight had dropped to 45 kilograms after she left. What does this fact show? With his wife supporting him, he was obese, but with his wife no longer taking care of him, he became underweight. Who can afford to support a man like this? 11. You said that Life Genuine is an illegal organization, so we asked your public security officer why you felt that way. The officer said that Life Genuine was never registered. I ask you, must an organization register in order to be legal? Was the Great, Glorious, and Correct Communist Party of China organization registered with the nationalist government of that time when it ruled China? If not, then according to you, the CPC has always been an illegal organization. Besides, Life Genuine is an international family, which has been registered with the Canadian government. Can it not be counted as registered? 12. Regarding Xiefeng's pronouncement that family members are enemies, this was a warning from Jesus Christ. Do you dare to say that Jesus Christ was wrong? Leaving home, this is the guidance and example of Buddha Sakyamuni. Do you dare to say Sakyamuni was wrong? 13. You keep saying that Xiefeng's claims are fallacies and heresies. I have 800 values. Do you have enough wisdom and ability to refute any of them? You only need to challenge a few of them. If you cannot refute any of them, then how can it be called a fallacy? In view of this, it is not surprising that you call filial piety evil, and the theory of truth fallacious. 14. I will not comment on Li Yuqian in the video, but he and his wife divorced voluntarily in 2009. At that time, their 2 children had grown up and his wife had left him without taking a penny from their family. The video said that his wife left him to live in Life Genuine community, but the community had not yet existed at the time of their divorce, so it would be nonsense to say that she came to us at that time. His wife's father died 7 years after they divorced, but you said that it happened only a few days after she left? In order to achieve your goals, lies can be made up like this only because the government is in league with liars. Is this what the government does? You also said that his wife's father died from lung cancer because his wife left him. Is there any scientific evidence that this can happen? According to Li Yuqian, his wife's departure caused her father to get lung cancer, and he passed away within a few days. I ask, can lung cancer really kill anyone within only a few days of acquiring it? Is it not ridiculous to make lies like this up? Is this how the government collects evidence to prove that Life Genuine is evil? In fact, this has nothing to do with Life Genuine. The number of divorcees in the world is increasing and many people are not marrying. Are all of these changes caused by Life Genuine? Of course not. 15. I advocate that as long as 2 parties are willing to, they can maintain emotional relations for a long time. What is wrong with this in terms of ethics and jurisprudence? Is it not allowed for them to keep long-term emotional relationships if they are consensual? 16. You said that some of our game photos which you showed in your video were described as being intolerable to the eye. Do you really think so? Then how do you feel about the large number of pornographic pictures on the regular internet? You think our Homeland life is immoral, right? Your public security officers raided our home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning many times, forced their way into our rooms, checked in our cabinets and under our beds. Did they ever find a man and a woman sleeping together? Never. Based on your realm, you can never imagine that Chanyuan celestials like to talk and laugh, but in our home we mostly like to live quietly and alone. We pursue the joy of non-material souls, not that of flesh. Based on your cognitive abilities, this realm is extremely difficult for you to imagine, and you will not be able to understand it even if you live for 500 years. 17. Peng Jinlai, who is shown in your video, stayed in the Chanyuan home for only 5 or 6 days. During that period, he wanted to be intimate with a female Chanyuan celestial, but she rejected him. For this, he hated the home and left immediately, and he also wanted his wife and daughter to leave with him. In your video, it was reversed. He was falsely accusing the female Chanyuan celestial of seducing him. This man lied at every step. 18. When Peng Jinlai's wife became a Chanyuan celestial, she had difficulty walking because of surgery on her legs. In 2020, She was brought to the new oasis for Life of Life Achanuan to recover, because she was unable to walk, and a dedicated specialist had been assigned to take care of her during her recuperation. I ask you, if she had been sent home, would that not have added trouble to Peng Jinlai? Not only did Peng Jinlai not appreciate the Life Achanuan home, but he spread rumors and framed us. Would you agree that what he did goes against basic human morality? 19. You said that my homeland is a mental cancer that endangers the masses. Please read carefully the Chanyuan Corpus, Siefeng Corpus, and the 800 Values for New Era Humans. This huge theoretical system is in line with the teachings of Jesus Christ, Buddha Shakyamuni, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, Immortal Laozi, the sages of the past, and Marx's theoretical communism. You seem to regard the teachings of gods, Buddhas, and immortals as mental cancers. So what your spiritual medicine might be? 20. You said that through careful investigations, you had found various evidence of violations in the homeland. What are they in accordance with China's constitution and laws? If you cannot show the evidence of our violations to society, have you committed the crime of perjury? 21. You said that all our believers were successfully rescued with no mistakes, but how could there have been no mistakes with nearly 100 people? Did you say that Siefeng asked the Chanyuan Celestials to commit collective suicide? If I live, the home will exist. If the home perishes, I will die? From your video, can you tell any clues of Chanyuan Celestials wanting to die by committing suicide? Is there one Chanyuan Celestial resisting? Let me tell you that Chanyuan Celestials are the most civilized group of well-educated people in the world, and that none of them would do anything extreme. You have suppressed Life Achanuan for 8 years and destroyed our homes a dozen times. But has even one Chanyuan Celestial confronted anyone or done anything extreme? There were no mistakes in your process of smashing us. This was not because of how thorough and detailed your plan was, but because the quality of Chanyuan Celestials determined that they would not respond in any uncivilized manner. 22. You said that Chanyuan Celestials cannot get prompt medical treatment and that they suffer from diseases in Life Achanuan. You are really good at fabricating and framing. The home regards every Chanyuan Celestial as a family relative. Once anyone feels uncomfortable, we immediately arrange for them to go to a hospital to be examined and treated, and we have never delayed anyone's timely treatment. During any Chanyuan Celestial's hospitalization, we provide at least 4 people to take care of them 24 hours each day. Do you not see it or know it? The care that the home delivers to every Chanyuan Celestial during their illness cannot be offered by ordinary families or social groups. Would you like to compare theirs against ours? 23. The home's care and education for children are all-encompassing. To know the quality of a fruit tree, just look at its. We have raised more than a dozen children in our home. Why do you not let the kids tell their stories? As for the 13-year-old Zhao Mingming, mentioned in your video, he is not running around the yard all day as you described and delaying his studies. The child's terminally ill mother arranged for her child to enter our home in order to secure a good future for him. Soon after his entering the homeland, his mother passed away. The homeland took care of all her funeral affairs. When the child's mother was critically ill, we promptly notified the child's grandmother and uncle, who came to inspect how we managed her funeral affairs. As for the child, his grandmother and uncle both agreed that the homeland is good and wanted the child to stay here. We then arranged for the child to go to the local school in time. Is this not true? How can you alter and despise the true facts? Is it not true that the detained child shown in your video was still wearing the uniform of the Hope Primary School in Rongguang Town? Didn't you take the child away from that school? How can you say that we had delayed the child's studies? 24. The alleged penance sending in the video is very ridiculous. It showed that Su Dong, who was originally from Shaanxi, sent a pennant to the Public Security Organization. The fact is that your officers customized the pennant in advance, and then forced Su Dong to take a photo with the pennant. This is how pathetically you make yourselves look good. Just think about it, relying on your brain capacity, knowledge, and spiritual quotient, is it possible for you to complete the deprogramming of Chanyuan? Celestials in such a short period of time after my more than 10 years of patient and meticulous brainwashing? Are you qualified? Your so-called transformation is nothing more than threats, intimidation, and coercion, and then through blackening people's names, cutting off people's sources of life, and forcibly taking away their mobile phones, computers, ID cards, and passports for forced conversion. How is this fundamentally different from the ruffians, hooligans, gangsters, and bandits who put knives to people's throats and say, "Call me grandpa or I'll kill you"? Since April 28th, you took away the ID cards, mobile phones, and computers of many Chanyuan celestials. Some of these objects have yet to be returned. Is this how you transform Chanyuan celestials? 25. You said that the evil homeland created by Zhang Zifen was smashed in one stroke. Your memory is really bad. This is not smashed in one stroke. You started the smashing in one stroke 8 years ago in 2013. You have already smashed in 12 strokes. You gave us real trouble, but it is too early to conclude whether we were destroyed. Boundless grasses across the plain come and go with every season. Wildfires never quite consume them. They are tall once more in the spring wind. If you really have the ability to completely destroy us, then what you have to do is not to drive the Chanyuan celestials from their dens, but you must subvert Xiefeng's entire theory. If you do not destroy my theory, then the home will never be destroyed. Not to say to smash it in one stroke. You cannot destroy it with 1,000 strokes, or even 10,000 strokes. Another way to destroy us is to control all foreign networks and block the 8 public websites of Life Chanyuan, especially social media platforms such as Facebook, Google, and YouTube. Otherwise, who will be destroyed in the end has not yet been settled. After reading the above, are you scared? If you are not scared, then do not delete my article so that the so-called righteous people can see the evil of the Chanyuan home and of Zhang Zifen. But if you do not delete it, will the good people who were deceived by you think you are evil instead? Who knows? Maybe. However, your deletion and blocking can only be limited to your sphere of influence. The world outside your sphere of influence is very vast, and I can continue to publish it in that vast world. Nowadays, there is a popular saying, "You will have to pay it back sooner or later." The 12 homes of Life Chanyuan were each smashed in one stroke by you. Sooner or later, this account will be settled. On average, each home is calculated at 10 million RMB yuan, and the 12 homes were worth 120 million RMB yuan, according to the current market value. A murderer must pay with his life and a debtor must pay his debt. It is an unalterable principle that the debts you owe must be repaid. You are not going to get away with this. Up to the highest height and down to deepest depth. Even if you die, Chanyuan celestials will trace you to the end. Before you pay off your debt, your soul will never rest in peace. If you do not believe me, just wait and see. We hope that you will realize your errors, mend your ways, and commit fewer sins.
将中国反邪教网钉上人类文明的耻辱柱。
China's anti-cult network is nailed to the pillar of shame of human civilization. Xiefeng, August 18, 2021. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Kair. What is China's anti-cult network? I had never heard of them before they vilified the name of the second home of Life Chanyuan as the evil Homeland. I know that this group is a malignant tumor that grows on the body of human civilization, and if it is not eliminated, then human civilization will surely die from it. Therefore, starting from today, China's anti-cult network is nailed to the pillar of shame of human civilization. They who reverse black and white, confuse right and wrong, spread rumors and slander, and fool the people, are a thorough anti-human and anti-civilization gang and an evil organization. As long as they exist, human civilization will suffer. The facts have proven that China's anti-cult network is a thorough cult organization, and what they fight against are just and bright religions. People who believe them should wake up and alert themselves. Anyone who bangs the drum for them is holding the candle for the devil, and their punishment has been scheduled. Therefore, the sooner you renounce this group, the better off you will be.
上帝出手了，答复一网友。
The greatest creator has taken action. My reply to a netizen. Xiefeng. August 18, 2021. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Care. People ask why they suffer from innumerable disasters while the greatest creator does nothing. The simple answer is that he has already done a great deal. In early April of 2009, I posted that the catastrophe of 2012 would not happen but would be replaced by a stepwise, reciprocating, and increasingly serious pattern of natural and man-made disasters. Then on August 1st of 2017, I once again warned that if mankind does not reevaluate their ways immediately and change their traditional modes of production and life, then not only is the entire natural ecology expected to collapse within 15 to 20 years, but that humanity will be at risk long before then. In order to save mankind, I compiled the 800 values for new era humans, and set a new life model for people with the Chanyuan celestials of Life Changyuan. All this is equivalent to saying that the ship of life of the greatest creator has arrived and is calling everyone to embark quickly so that they can be kept safe. But how many have boarded this ship? I am telling you plainly that I am the messenger of the greatest creator, and that I have come to harvest ripe crops and to create the Life Changyuan era for mankind. But after more than 10 years of my calling out, how many people have responded? Is this not the action of the greatest creator? If this is not his action, do you want he, himself to come and carry everyone to heaven? Are we worthy of his carrying? When Noah built his ark on the top of Mount Ararat, most people ridiculed and mocked him and took his call as the act of a lunatic. What was the result? People still indulged in dissipation in their own ways. 18 years ago, I called on people through the internet to hurry up and get on board this ship. I have been working hard, following the will of the greatest creator for 18 years, but what has the result been? Not only have very few people responded, but they destroyed the kingdom of the greatest creator, the second home of Life Changyuan, and called it the evil Homeland. I ask you, has the greatest creator taken action? Have people listened? You called me a big liar and accused me of deceiving and cheating people for money and sex. But have I cheated anyone out of their money or tricked anyone into having sex with me over the last 18 years? Which of my thousands of articles is not telling the truth? Do you not believe me? Will you not listen to me? All right then, live by your truth and let us wait for the result. I have warned against plagues, fires, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, hunger, extreme heat, extreme cold, social unrest, and so on. I have written more than 200 articles in my warning chapter alone. Do you not think so? Let us just wait and see. What happens next will not even leave you a chance to cry. Do not blame the greatest creator for not saving you. If you want to blame someone, then blame yourself for being too foolish, too arrogant, too proud, and too ignorant not to have him in your heart. Do not blame the gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, and saints for not saving you. I am coming to save you by combining the incarnations of the messenger of the greatest creator with all the aforementioned, and my doing so is tantamount to their doing so. You refused to listen, so why cast blame? When cows enter cowsheds, pigs enter pigpens, the devil collects demon grandchildren, celestials go to a celestial world, they are all just returning home.
中国人急需理解的18个观念。
18 values that Chinese people need to understand urgently. Jiefeng. August 18, 2021. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Care. I am watching China heading toward purgatory, so I am warning everyone of their urgent need to understand the following 18 truths. With your understanding, there may be some room for reversal. Otherwise, there will only be wailing and regrets. 1.it is not that US imperialists want us to die, but that the West never gives up its hope of helping us. 2.it is not that mainland China should liberate Taiwan, but that we should hope for Taiwan to liberate the mainland. 3. Mao Zedong's thoughts will bring no happiness to the Chinese people, but only poverty and disasters. For our government is unreliable. The more you rely on it, the more you will suffer. 5. Chinese government officials at all levels are failing to serve the people, but rather are oppressing and exploiting them. 6. Programs are more reliable than moral preaching. We need more program construction and less moral preaching. 7. Confucian culture is the root cause of China's inability to produce Nobel Prize winners. 8. Xifeng-style communism is the only way for the Chinese nation to achieve happiness. 9. Confrontation with the United States is the path to death. 10. Uniting a centralized country by marriage is the same as prostitution. 11. The stronger the control becomes, the more cunning the people will become. 12. Most common people's crimes are forced upon them by officials. Therefore, the common people are not guilty, but the officials are. 13. All those who praise the heads of government and the ruling party are bastards. 14. A government that does not allow freedom of speech should and must be abandoned. Why would anyone want or need such a government? 15. There is no need for power, but there is for bread and freedom. 16. There is no need for a country, but to live and work in peace and contentment. B. Where there is freedom, there is the best place for peaceful lives. C. Without freedom, you cannot live in peace, so for what do you want or need an unfree country? 17. Small amounts of chicken soup for the soul and religious preaching are supplements, but large amounts of them are toxic and can poison people's minds. 18. Those who are oppressed, bullied, and exploited, but do not resist, are tantamount to pigs or dogs. Therefore, they will only fight back when they are driven beyond